Hello my fellow book lovers, welcome back to my channel. I feel like I haven't made a video in a really long time. I'm sorry, I've been just really busy with life and I haven't really had the time to sit down and make a video, but I'm back. What better way than to return back to the channel than to break my book buying ban. I was on a book buying ban for a couple of months and I'm finally breaking it because it is my birthday month, and I did make that exception when I originally was going on my book buying ban. I told myself that the month of my birthday would be the month that I would break it because I want to spoil myself with the books. Hello. So I have a few books, not a few, a lot, but we're not going to talk about that. I don't even know if I can lift everything honestly to show you guys, but I'm going to try. So here is my massive pile, it's heavy, of books that I have to share with you guys. So let's get started with opening some of these packages. We are going to start with the book that I picked for the month of November from Book of the Month. Let's get this baby opened. I picked The Last Party by Claire McIntosh. So this book is about this guy who hosts a party for all of his neighbors and he turns up dead. Now they have to discover what's going on in the town, who killed him, and why did they kill him. So this is probably going to be a murder mystery thriller book, which is right up my alley, and that is why I picked it. Let's get right into this first package from Amazon. A lot of these books are from either Amazon and I think Bookoutlet. I don't really remember. This is The Summer House by James Patterson. So this story is about a mass murder that happens at the summer house, and people are pointing fingers at these 4 army rangers that just returned home from Afghanistan. And so now the army sends a investigator to investigate these murders, and it's going to be interesting to see what is uncovered, why this mass murder happened. And so I'm excited to read this one. When I was picking this book out, the summary really jumped out at me, and that's why I ended up buying it. Let's open this package. Now it says open. Here. Oh, okay. I hate when the books have stickers that says Netflix on them. Like, why would you ruin the cover of a perfectly good book? I don't know. And this one's kind of dented. I'm kind of annoyed. I've been seeing everyone raving about this show on Netflix, so I decided to pick up the first book so that I can read it and judge for myself how I like the book, and then I might watch the show on Netflix, not sure. The School for Good and Evil. I don't even know how to pronounce this author's name, so sorry. It is Soman Chainani, but we're gonna go with that. So this book is about 2 girls who are going to be going to either the school for good or the school for evil, and one of the girls who's the typical who's a typical embodiment of what a student would look like who goes to the school for good, and then the other girl is what you would typically assume would end up in the school for evil. That's actually not what happens. I think it ends up being the reverse, and where the girl that wanted to go to the school for evil ends up in the school for good, and vice versa, I think. And so I really don't know too much about this book, but I did like the concept of having the school for good and the school for evil, and that's what drives me to pick up this book. The next book that I got is because I felt like as a fan of this series and this franchise and all the merchandise that I have, how can I not have this book yet? And that is Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I finally picked it up, and so I'm going to read this play. And that's going to be exciting for me to finally get on board with reading this. I don't know, there's like mixed reviews about whether or not this is good or not, and how the characters don't seem canon. So I don't know, this is supposed to be 19 years after Harry, Ron, and Hermione saves the world. The next book that I got is The Family Across the Street by Nicole Trope. Is it Trope? Something like that. So this is about this family that appears pretty perfect on this block, and eventually people start to notice how this family doesn't really join in with the rest of the neighbors. And so one day that perfect persona, perfect family image that they're trying to portray crumbles, and everyone starts to get a peek inside of what they thought was the perfect family, which isn't the perfect family, that they have a lot of stuff going on, and it's basically going to shake the neighborhood. It's another thriller book, and so I already know I'm probably gonna like it. The next book that I got is I'm Watching You by Teresa Driscoll. So this is about this lady who witnessed these two girls getting harassed by these guys, and she notices that these guys are fresh out of prison, and so she goes to call the cops, but she's stopped from calling the cops. And the next day she's going about her business, and on the news one of the girls is reported missing, and so she feels guilty because she could have prevented something from happening, but she doesn't know exactly what's going on. A year later the girl is still missing, and so I guess she's trying to put the pieces together to figure out what's going on. And in doing so, it's revealed that the friend who was with the girl that went missing isn't telling the entire story of what actually happened that day, and that the parents and family of the girl who is missing has some secrets that they're hiding as well. And the main character starts to realize that this is a little sketchy, and it's weird because she's getting threats about the situation, and so it's obvious that someone knows that she kind of knows what happened or what could have happened, and they're scared that she might uncover the truth of what's going on. And so I like it. It says I'm watching you, which is basically the whole premise of this book, is that someone is now watching her because she kind of probably knows or is going to try to solve this puzzle piece of where the missing girl is. We are just continuing with all of the packages from Amazon. Now I'm opening this box here. I don't remember what's in here. Actually, I do remember one of the books that I ordered because I was super excited to order it. So I do know one book that I remember, one book that's in here, but the rest of them are going to be a surprise for me as well, because I don't remember what's in here or what I ordered. All right, so there's 3 books in here, and I'm so excited. Okay, I'm gonna do that one. Oh my god. Okay, so let me do this other. I'm so excited. Okay, is The Last Flight by Julie Clark. Okay, so this is about this lady who is married to this guy who's a jerk, and she's making a plan to escape. So she is on this, she's at the airport, and she happens to run into another lady who also wants to escape her life. So they last minute decide to do something crazy, and they switch plane tickets. And so our main character goes on the flight to wherever this lady's plane is going, and the lady takes her ticket. But the lady that was on the plane for where she was going, the main character, that lady dies in a plane crash. So that plane crashes, and so now our main character decides that she's going to take on this lady's identity. And in taking on this lady's identity, there are things that this lady had tried to keep a secret that comes to light. And so that's going to be interesting. I feel like it's always sketchy when someone tries to take on the identity of someone else. You don't know what's going on in that person's life, so you're gambling, you're taking a big risk in doing that. So I think this is going to be interesting. So the next book is King of Battle and Blood. I really like the cover of this book. Okay, so I haven't been reading a lot of books with vampires in it, and when I saw this book, I was like, okay, I have to read this. It is definitely your typical enemies to lover trope, so that's that. But this is about this girl who has to save her kingdom by marrying the vampire king. Like, hello, yes, please. So yeah, she has to marry the vampire king, but she has a plan that she's going to kill him, and obviously that plan doesn't work, because why would it? And so he basically catches on, doesn't die, obviously, and he tells her that if she ever tries to kill him again, he's going to make her a vampire, because he knows that she doesn't like vampires, and so he threatens her with that. And yeah, surprisingly, that's not what she fears about him. What she fears about him is her growing attraction to him. And so yeah, that's just enemies to lovers in a nutshell, and I think this will be interesting, and the cover is beautiful, so I feel like this is going to be a fun read. Now for the book that I'm most excited for, like, I'm shaking and I can't with this book. It's Rise of the Dragon by George R.R. Martin. I'm so happy that it finally came in the mail. I've been wanting to get this book for the longest time because I love House of Dragon, and how can I not get this book? Honestly, I feel like I'm gonna become like a House of Dragon, Harry Potter fan. Like, combine those two and I'm solid. Oh my gosh, the imagery. Just like the first page. I'm in love already. Oh my gosh, that's Rhaenyra. Look at Rhaenyra. This book is just, this is supposed to be Aegon, Rhaenyra's brother. Oh my gosh, that spine cracked. Sounds lovely, but I'm like looking at this book instead of doing this video. All right. I'm in love with this book, but I'm gonna put it down so that I can continue to show you guys the other books that I got. This baby, which is the Bookoutlet box. These books from Bookoutlet are obviously bargain books, so they're used books, so they're not going to be in the perfect condition. They're gonna look like they are used books. So the first book I got is because I didn't want to pay full price for it, but I kind of want to read it because I feel like I owe it to my younger self to read this, because I was one of those people or childrens who were obsessed with this series when they were, you know, pretty popular, and that is Midnight Sun by Stephanie Myers. So this is the point of view of Edward. Yeah, so I just thought it would be funny to read Twilight from Edward's point of view, because I know he had some crazy thoughts, because I had crazy thoughts watching the movie and reading the book. So I just want to see what his perspective is, because I feel like he had a no care attitude in the movie, so I'm hoping that that translates in this book. Great, this book is a little bit in better condition, and it is Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. Okay, so this book is like a little bit confusing in terms of what it's about. So it's about this couple who every year they give each other gifts. It's random things all the time. And this wife always writes a letter for the husband but never lets him read it until this year she finally, I don't know what's going on in her head. Maybe the light bulb went on. I don't know. But she finally is changing her mind about letting him read these letters. And they went a trip to Scotland. I want to go there. It looks so pretty. But anyways, they went a trip to Scotland, and comes to find out, like, they really didn't win the trip to Scotland. Like, someone's plotting and someone doesn't really want them to live happily ever after. I don't know what that means. It's very vague what this book is about. But I'm gonna go with that. It's a thriller, it's a mystery, and something's about to go down, and we will see once I get to reading this book. The next book is a sequel to a book that I already have, but I have not read yet, and that is Good Girl, Bad Blood by Holly Jackson. I do have A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I haven't read it yet, but I went ahead and picked this up. Because it was a good deal, and also because I think I'm gonna read the first book sometime soon, so I wanted the second one because I already know I'm gonna like it. I like anything that's thriller and mystery, so I went ahead and picked this up. It's the sequel to A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. The next one is One by One by Ruth Ware, and I got this book because it reminded me of a story that Agatha Christie wrote, so I love that, so why not? So this is about a business retreat that is in the mountains, the Alps. They're going skiing, ski retreat, and you know, they're together, they're doing what business people do together. They're having PowerPoint presentations, planning goals for the business, the company, and one of them, I guess, is the CEO or whoever he is, I don't know, basically propositions the group with this buyout offer, and after that happens, there is a storm that cuts everyone off from the rest of civilization, and one person in the group got caught in that avalanche, and no one knows where that person is. No one knows if anyone is coming to rescue them, and then one by one they all start to and so this is literally just an Agatha Christie book retold. I don't remember which one. This next book is from an author that I love. I love her, all the books I've read from her, and that is The Cousins by Karen M. McManus. I finally got my hands on this book. I've been meaning to get it for a while and just decided to do it this time. This book is about the Story cousins. It's 3 cousins who never met their grandmother, and they're all estranged, and so they get this invitation from their grandmother to come work on the grandmother's summer resort. I don't know what it is. She has money, and the parents are telling the kids that they have no choice, they have to go. When they go to work on this summer resort, they are learning secrets to the family and why the parents were all estranged from their mother. And I think it sounds creepy, and also why would this grandmother just send out invitations to her grandchildren for them to come work on this island, and there's some sketchy stuff going on behind the scene, and stuff from the past is getting brought back up again, and it's gonna affect the kids. So I'm down to read that because Karen, she always throws you a plot twist that you sometimes can pick up, sometimes you can't, and so I'm curious to see what she does with this book. Okay, so this book sounds really interesting and I wanted to read it, so that's why I bought it. It is A Marvelous Light. Who is it by? I don't know who is it by. By Freya Marsky. Anyways, so this is about this guy who discovers that there is a magical society in Britain, and he becomes kind of like the liaison for this magical society, and it's basically shaking his whole world because he didn't even know this society existed, and people around him or people who were in that position before him disappeared or something along those lines. I don't really know. And so him and whoever's his advisors or whoever he's near, I don't know, whoever's supposed to help him in this magical society, they are going to work together to discover what is threatening the magic society. And I think that's interesting because it's Britain and magic, and it reminds me of Harry Potter. So obviously I was going to pick it up because why not? All right, let's move on to, I have 2 more books to show you guys. So let's do this one, Piranesi by Suzanne Clark. Probably said it wrong, but oh well. I digress. So this is about Piranesi, who lives in a house that's kind of like a maze. And so a section of the house, there's an ocean and the ocean like floods a lot of the rooms in this house. And so Piranesi knows that there is one other person that lives in the house as well, and this person comes to visit him every 2 weeks or so. I don't really remember. And this person is called Other. And so when Other comes to visit Piranesi, he and Piranesi research secrets and knowledge. I don't know why, but that's what they do. And eventually Piranesi finds evidence, or I don't know what he finds, but something hints to there being another person in the house as well, and that's basically going to shake his whole world because he was under the impression that only Other was in the house with him. And so yeah, he discovers that the world is not really what he knows it to be, and there's just so much more going on beyond his labyrinth of a house. I like stuff like this, and so I was pulled in. I was a sucker for this book, and I like the cover. I feel like I'm gonna cry when I read this book. I don't know why. I feel like I'm getting that vibe that it's going to be one of those emotional books that you read, and so I'm hoping I don't cry. But then again, I'm very cold-hearted, and I tend to not cry about trivial things like reading a book. But sometimes there's a good book that gets that emotion out of me, so I'm hoping that that is this book. So the last book is The Atlas 6. I've been meaning to get this book for so long, and I finally got it for my birthday. And this is about this group of 6 people who are invited to join this secret society. Well, they're not joining it, they are recruits, and they have to prove themselves. Only one person is going to join the society at the end, I think. Let me double check. Yeah, only one person is going to be able to join this secret society. It's a magical society, and they'll get, I don't know, endless power, something like that. Like they're gonna be the chosen one. There's always a chosen one. So there's gonna be obviously a lot of betrayals, because I'm sorry, if there's like a group of people and only one of us is winning, why wouldn't there be like betrayals and competitive stuff going on? But yep, I finally got this book. I'm super excited to read it, and yeah, that is all the books that I got. I don't even know how many books did I get. I got 17 books. I thought I would get more. I have 2 more books that I forgot to show you guys that I opened already, and then 1 book that I got in person. How can I forget? Uno momento. Oh my gosh, let me not like fall flat on my face. That would be bad. Totes forgot about these 2 books that I got. So this is a short story. It's very small. That's how big it is in comparison to my hand. But I got it because it's by Madeline Miller, who wrote The Song of Achilles, that I love till this day, is my top book. And so it is Galatea, I think. Galatea. And so this is about this woman named Galatea who has a sculpture made of her, and it is blessed. The person who sculpted her marries her, and they have a daughter together, but the sculptor is like a very jealous person and locks her away and doesn't want her to go out into the world. But obviously she wants to see her daughter, and she doesn't want to be locked away, and so she tries to escape. I like Madeline Miller, so I already know. Even though it's a short story, I don't care. I think it's gonna be great. The last book that I purchased for my birthday, totally forgot about this, was Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, the illustrated edition. I have 4 of the books further up there on this top shelf, and they came out with the 5th book, and I'm so excited. It's heavier than the other 4 books, but let's get a good image. Oh, here is Nymphadora and Harry. That's Harry and Cho Chang. So that is the last book of this haul. How long is this video? Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my birthday book haul. If you guys have read any of these books, I would love to know which ones you have read and what you thought of those books. Please subscribe and like this video if you like content like this, so I can be sure to deliver in the stuff that you guys want to see. Bye!